Hey, how's it going YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to basically be talking about, can the Milwaukee Bucks, with their new big three with Jrue Holiday, Khris Middellton, and Giannis, can they finally get over the hump and make it out of the Eastern Conference and make it to the NBA Finals? So I'm getting into a few things why I think maybe that the Milwaukee Bucks with this big three finally have enough talent to actually get over it and they can actually make it all the way to the finals, which is something they have struggled with for the past few years, as despite always putting together very good regular seasons, they always end up faltering in the playoffs and losing to teams they probably shouldn't lose to because they game plan around stopping Giannis, and that affects them a lot. So I'm be saying why I think maybe with the addition of Jrue Holiday, this could change in going into this year's playoffs. But now, before I do get in this video any farther, I mean, you don't have to, but there's a thing called a like button and subscribe button, and it would be great if you just did hit that, because I mean, it would be great, and it even confirms you if you hit it. If you hit it, it becomes blue, the like button, and if you click the bright red subscribe button right under it, well then it turns gray, and that just helps out the channel so much, and I cannot thank y'all enough if y'all actually end up doing that. And now y'all don't have to do that, but I mean, y'all are thinking about it now, you might as well do it, you know? It would really just help a guy out. So thank you so much in advance if y'all do end up doing it. And yeah, like I said, I'm getting to why I think the Milwaukee Bucks maybe can actually get over that hump this year in the playoffs. So without further ado, without running on too much, just get right into this video. Now, the first thing I'm getting to for this video is going to be their defense / their offense, both being at an elite level. Now, the main thing to really be a contender in my book is you have to be good on both ends, at least top 10 on both, and that is exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks are. As if you look at the defensive side of the ball for the Bucks, they're currently ranked the 7th best in defensive efficiency among the entire NBA, and also, I mean, they're led by two of the best two-way players in the entire NBA, as Jrue Holiday may be the best two-way guard in the entire NBA and one of the best perimeter defenders out of just anyone period in the league, as I mean, many other NBA players, when asked about Jrue Holiday's defense, have said the exact same thing. They said he's one of the best defenders they've ever had to go against, and that he is very hard to score against and just makes your life that much harder, even no matter who you are. As we saw when he made the playoffs a few years ago, he pretty much shut down Damian Lillard, which almost no one has the capabilities of doing. So Jrue Holiday may be easily the best guard two-way player in the entire NBA, and then to compliment him a little bit, I would say Giannis is one of the best, if not the best two-way player also in the NBA, period. Not a guard, not big man. Giannis is just one of the best two-way players in the league, hands down. Now, maybe he isn't as good of a defender like someone like Ben Simmons is, but Ben Simmons is nowhere near as talented on the offensive end as Giannis is, so Giannis is a better two-way player than someone like that, and I really can't think of many players that are better on defense and offense than Giannis Antetokounmpo is, and I mean, I think for sure that this defense, led by Jrue Holiday and led by Giannis, is going to be extremely hard to score against at the playoffs, especially when they turn it up even more. And we've seen Jrue Holiday turn up that intensity when it comes to playoff time, and we know Giannis can be very intense as well. And then Khris Middellton, also not a bad defender at all. And then you have other role players like Dante DiVincenzo, PJ Tucker, who I'm assuming is going to be healthy for the playoffs, and Brook Lopez, who are all also very, very good defenders and are going to help this defense to be even better than it is. And maybe when PJ Tucker gets healthy, this team could easily become one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team in the entire NBA by the time the playoffs do roll around. And then on the offensive end of things, well, like I said, since they have two of the best two-way players, that, I mean, half of that two-way is also the offensive end, and Jrue Holiday, although not a 20-point per game scorer, can be that. He's averaging right now 17 points per game on the season, which isn't bad at all. And then Giannis is going to do most of the scoring, and Khris Middellton is also a bucket. So when you have those three players scoring for you, that is going to be huge. And not only do I think that this offense is going to be very good in the playoffs, I think it's going to be the best playoff offense for the Milwaukee Bucks we've seen, period, since Giannis has been on the team. Because since Giannis has been on the team, since they traded Malcolm Brogdon, they've had only one other playmaker on the entire team, and that's Khris Middellton. But now with the addition of Jrue Holiday, if a team tries to do what they usually do against Giannis, which is pack the lane and you're not scoring. You're like, Giannis is not going to beat them because they pack the lane so much. Well, now you have players like Jrue Holiday to help make plays for Giannis and help draw attention away from him. And if a defense can't put full-on attention on only Giannis, that makes him that much harder to guard. And also it's going to free up Khris Middellton. So Jrue Holiday is just going to free up so many new things, and it is going to make it that much harder to guard them. And teams aren't going to be able to do what they usually do for the past 2 years, what Toronto did and what Miami did for the past 2 years against them. They're no longer going to be able to do that, because now you have to guard Jrue Holiday, who is an elite level guard on both ends of the court. So it's going to be very, very hard to guard them, and much harder than it has in the past playoff series that we've seen the Milwaukee Bucks get into in the last few years. Now, another thing that I think every contending team has to have is they have to have a legit big three on their roster to be a finals contender. Now, yes, there are exceptions like the Lakers and the Clippers, who have two of the best players on the entire planet on their teams, which is why they're still finals contenders, only 2 star players. But for the most part, the point stands, as we see Brooklyn with pretty much a big 5 at this point. And I mean, we see most other contenders have to have at least a big 3, unless you have MVP candidates as your 2 best players on the team, which obviously those are 2 exceptions in the Los Angeles teams. But for every other team in the NBA, they need to have a legit big 3 to be a finals contender. And in the past few years, the Milwaukee Bucks have not had that. Yes, at one point they had Malcolm Brogdon, Giannis, and Khris Middleton, and that's a good big 3. Malcolm Brogdon's one of the most underrated players in the NBA, but at the time, Malcolm Brogdon, although still a good player, was not the player he currently is, and is just not good enough to be the 3rd best player on a championship team. Now with Jrue Holiday on the roster, he is more than good enough to be the 3rd option on a championship level team. He does all the dirty work. He's going to do everything that the Milwaukee Bucks need someone to do, and he's going to do it at an elite level. He's a great leader. He's a great defensive player. He's going to do all the dirty things, like I said earlier. He can score as well. He's just going to do everything that the Milwaukee Bucks were missing out of that 3rd guy that they needed for the past few years. Because in the past few years, like I said earlier, teams would just make Khris Middleton beat them. And although Khris Middleton is an all-star level player and is an all-star, he is not good enough to single-handedly win a playoff series for a team in any capacity like someone like Giannis is. But now with Jrue Holiday and Khris Middleton, I think them 2 combined could be good enough, if teams try to focus on Giannis like they've been doing, could be good enough to win a few games in a playoff series, and may make teams rethink their strategy when going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. So I think them legitimately having a big 3 now is going to help this team go a very long way in the playoffs, and also could be cause huge matchup problems for a team like the Brooklyn Nets. Because look at this, who on the Brooklyn Nets is guarding Giannis? They don't have anyone on that team that's matching up. Kevin Durant's the only one with even the length to match up with Giannis, and he's not strong enough to guard Giannis, and he's just not a good enough defender to guard Giannis. Now, although on the other hand, I do think Giannis is a good enough defender to at least slow down Kevin Durant. Jrue Holiday, although you're not stopping James Harden or Kyrie Irving, whoever you put Jrue Holiday on, they're going to have a much harder time scoring than they would if Jrue Holiday wasn't there. And then also Khris Middleton, like I said, is a solid defender. Dante DiVincenzo is a pretty underrated defender in my opinion, and is a strong defender as well. Brook Lopez is also a strong defender when he in the paint wise, not so much on the perimeter, but he is a little bit pretty good at shot blocking at times in the paint, and he's just a very high basketball IQ player and very smart on the defensive end. And plus, like I said, they have other guys on the bench like PJ Tucker, who are also very high basketball IQ defenders and are just very good at defending. So I think for sure that teams like the Brooklyn Nets that seem unbeatable right now with much more star talent, I think they could be giving huge problems from teams like the Milwaukee Bucks. But unfortunately, guys, that's me for this video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Milwaukee Bucks can maybe make the NBA Finals? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did like the video at any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. Like I said earlier, it'd mean the world to me if you just went down there, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Y'all been doing so good at it lately, and I cannot thank y'all enough for it. And all glory to God. Hope you have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. So you need to have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah, blah.